what is your most valuable investment? And an investment, you know, a vest is something you put on actually around your rib cage, kind of like that, in your heart. And it becomes a vest. And then we call it an investment. And you want to look at what are you investing in. And it's also a financial term of an investment is supposed to pay off later somehow, because of what you're giving to it now will then bring back some future dividends, some rewards, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, no, all of these money terms and all of this is also a distraction to keep you thinking that your prosperity comes from the outside, that your good comes from the outside. And then you see that then you have the false reality that's created where you have to pay rent to somebody else for living on the earth, for expressing in this reality. You have to pay for that. Okay. So, yes, in the false reality, you do have to pay, because it's pay to play based on that, because it's, you could call it a game, because it has a winner and a loser. But what happens is humanity is always tend to be losing, because they're agreeing to lose and shoot themselves in the foot by not being who they really are, and not trusting in being the divine being that they are, but trusting the mind and the thoughts and the realities that you were trained to accept, to be a good little boy or girl, or I'm going to be the bad one. In the school, which is the schooling and the training to line up, to follow orders, to all think the same thing, believe the same thing, you see. That's why all of these universities is one song, one verse, to then at that age where people are, you might say young people, very susceptible to want to please, to want to be liked, to be one of the group. And that's my book, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business, is excellent for young people of all, or people of all ages, to really get that we're always giving our power. When we give our power away, and we call those dysfunctional relationships, and that means not functional. But then again, what's a function, and who's deciding what function it is for that? You may realize how the words are always telling you, if you really notice and look, what you're saying. And that's very interesting. The word destroyed just came to my mind. Detroy, remember the Troy, the false horse that comes in to the town or the city, and all of the soldiers are in the false horse, and they come on. It destroys something, see. So when you really then you look at the words, and when you look at what your best investment is in yourself. And I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in this world, maybe millions actually, of investing in my consciousness and helping other people to invest in their consciousness, because that's where the power is. And according to the Vedas, Satchitananda Vigraha says that the nature of a spirit soul, us, is eternity, consciousness, bliss, and a form. And we already have a divine body. And that divine body is beautiful, and I have seen my divine body, and I know in seeing my divine body, your divine body must look pretty much the same, and also your own individual way, and is who we really are. And yet that's been covered by layers, and then we've been given information as to who we really are is nothing. It merges into the blob, you know. It's going to be in this abyss. It's already, ignorance is the abyss. And it's ignorance of who we are, misidentifying ourselves and investing in that which is temporary. And I want to tell you something. I have, my daughter had passed away a few years ago, and I have her, the ashes of all the stuff, the remains. And I have a little altar with those remains on my porch with flowers and everything. And it's like, and I'll tell you why I keep her there, and also not her, the remains there, is for people to know, and really everything you do for this physical body and that mind in this reality, that's not you, and that's where it's going to wind up. That, the ashes, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. What it is, but who we are and what we do for our soul, we are eternal beings. And we take with us because we have accepted it in some level as part of us and who we are. We want to cast off now by recognizing and realizing all that we've been trained, educated, religionized, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't mean there isn't good there, doesn't mean there isn't value, but you have to know how to pick through the rubble and the trash to find the gems. And the gems, when you find each gem you find, you're the gem, the beingness of the beauty. And it isn't like an arrogant, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm it's not going around and saying that. That's, no. Not like that. It's, we're part of absolute beauty. So you have to be beautiful as to who you are. You can't get more than you've got. It's to invest in your realizations. That's why I do retreats. That's why I do counseling. That's why I do mentoring. That's why I do, spiritual mind healing. And the work that I do is for you. And what's such a joy, it benefits me. That means one of the greatest ways for you to embody and be who you really are is to help other people as well, to be who they are. And in relationship, instead of coming in to say, I'm going to change and make you be the way I want you to be, to actually really recognize that, yes, you come together and for many ways to learn from each other, but you acknowledge and recognize that. You're not in the old pattern. You're not in what you were programmed to think relationship is about and everything. And real, true, divine relationships are mutually enriching, mutually empowering, mutually giving and receiving, and then in the true love of the divine, the beloved, that is our divine partner and soulmate that we are part of, when we are feeling that love, and then we move into those ecstatic states where you are immersed in the love of the divine, with the divine, part of as, but, and also your own individual self. You never lose that. And you have a divine personality, because you couldn't have one here if you didn't have it. You understand? The artificial, the virtual reality, the layers, the veils aren't original, but they have to be a copy, because the only originality is in the divine in every single moment. And how that is now manifesting and coming forth and manifesting everything is by your recognizing it, your being it, you're essential to this. Have your shoes off, give the power into the earth giving the power, acknowledging nature. This is how the real earth now is manifesting. Be on the real earth. Be with the real earth. Leave that digital, mechanicalized, cold, hard reality. Shake it off. The moment of choice is now, and it's now or never. And then the never is being ever. So it's now. Now. Yes, what are you investing in? That means giving your attention to, talking about, letting yourself think about, dwell upon, imagine, visualize. That's paying for. That's what you're investing in, and that's what you're going to get. When you invest in yourself, you're complete, holy, and divine. completely filled with self-satisfaction, all-knowing, everywhere present, you see. One and different, unique. Hey, yeah, invest in yourself.